Riddick on Get Up, former NFL front office type, had this to say about can Baker Mayfield be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL?
That's the million-dollar question right now for Baker. Do I believe he'll be top 10? I think he'll be right on the cusp. And I think it all depends how you wind up measuring what a top 10 quarterback is. Is it strictly a statistical measurement for you? What statistics are you using? Is it a winning measurement for you? Is it about, does Baker take his football team now to a Super Bowl? Does he get Cleveland to a Super Bowl? Does he win a Super Bowl? And I think all of that together is going to be something that Cleveland Browns management is going to have to factor in when you're talking about going ahead and trying to sign into a contract extension. Because look, they could do that right now. I believe it was Jeff Darlington who I've heard other reporters talk about the fact that they believe that maybe an extension is being worked on now. So there's obviously a lot of projection that's going on with how Baker is going to look down the road in terms of his accomplishments. I think he's definitely a wild card when you're talking about the quarterback rankings, because he's one of those guys who I think a lot of his success is going to come in a team context, and people are going to kind of classify his worth in a team context. But if you also look at it and break it out individually, he's right there with some of the statistical leaders when you're looking at advanced metrics.
And Jeff, I think it's a valid point by Louis Riddick, but I think the ultimate way you measure a quarterback is your franchise winning with him. It's pretty simple.
There's no question, Dave. I think that's the ultimate factor. And if you base it on last season, no question, Baker's certainly the guy for you, and I would assume the guy for the Browns long term. I can't imagine them not signing him to an extension. Whether or not you think Baker is worth being paid one of the highest quarterback salaries in the NFL, he's going to get it. I mean, he is the quarterback in the position on a team that's been winning football games in the last year or so and is on the rise. And you're tied to him. I mean, you use the number one pick in the draft on the guy. How long have the Browns been looking for a quarterback? Since Bernie Kosar? Probably since Bernie. And certainly since they've been back. Well, here's the guy. And whether or not you think he's one of the top 3, top 5, top 10 guys in the league, Dave, I don't think it matters. I mean, he's your guy. And you're not going to not sign him. What are you going to do? Go try and find another guy? No. And so you might not like his height. You might not like some of the things he does. He's your guy. And he does a lot of things really well. And he appears to be a tremendous leader. And that might be the most important thing. I've always looked back at Troy Aikman when he was in Dallas, and different body styles and different things all the way around. Troy was at Oklahoma for a while and then went out to UCLA. But I always thought Troy Aikman was underrated because he played on a team that didn't just cut it loose through the air, as so many teams did. They think about Dan Marino, think about Troy Aikman. Most people think Marino was a much better quarterback, I would assume, because he put up all the individual numbers. Troy Aikman did what his team needed to do to win football games. He had running backs. Hey, here's Emmett. Let's hand it off. It worked out beautifully. He moved the ball around. He ran a great offense. And only from that perspective, I think Baker and Troy Aikman are similar quarterbacks. Do you know what I mean by that? They're not physically the same or anything like that, but Aikman was the quarterback of a winning football operation. And I think Baker's the same kind of guy.
Yeah, and they're happy to do that. It's not, Troy Aikman didn't feel like he had to throw for 3,000, 5,000 yards a season. Let's go and win Super Bowls. And I think you're right. I think Baker Mayfield has that same kind of makeup.